Objective. Today, on the Victory Unlimited show, you'll be briefed on the difference between being a woman's man and being her man servant. Also, as crazy as it sounds, we're going to cover the top 4 reasons why some single women date married men. Let's go.
If you picked up this frequency, downloaded this MP3, or gained access to this broadcast by any means, know that you are not listening to just another ordinary radio show. You are listening to the greatest dating, relationship, and life strategy show for men in the world. The best man that you can be is a lifelong fight, so welcome to the war, soldier.
Many of you know me. I am Victory Unlimited, and this is the Victory Unlimited show. This is a show that's all about helping men win in every area of their lives, especially in regards to dating and relationships. Enough said. What have we got? We've got a message here from Angelo. He's 39 and from Atlanta, Georgia. We titled this email, No Man Left Behind. Angelo writes, Yo, Victory, much respect to you, to what you do, and to what you stand for. I've had a copy of your battle plan for almost 3 months now, and I can't tell you how on point this thing is. If I'd known this stuff years ago, I wouldn't have had to have spent the last few months getting myself back on track. I'm married, been married for about 5 years. About 4 years into it, I started slipping. I started worrying too much about keeping my wife happy and not enough about making sure I was being kept happy too. At first, it was the little things I noticed, like me giving up too many of my hobbies, putting too much of what I like to do on hold, and practically losing myself in the process. As you already know, all acting this way does is make most women start to lose that passion for you that they used to have in the beginning. I caught how my wife started basically beginning to take me for granted and started to prefer spending more time with her family and friends than me. Instead of just doing her, I remember to start doing me again too. Once I did that, it's like it relit a fire in our marriage that was beginning to flicker out. You were right. There's nothing like making sure you keep having a life to keep your woman more excited about being in your life. My wife told me just yesterday that she doesn't know what it is, but there's something about me that seems different, but she's liking it. Ha! Victory. You and I know that what she's really seeing is me reconnecting to other areas of what you call my positive masculinity. But hey, there's no need to explain all that to her though. Better to just sit back, keep doing what I'm doing, so me and her both can enjoy it, right? Anyway, that's not the only reason I'm writing you. I've got a friend who's already gone further down that wrong road that I was going. My friend Rob is married too, but he's only been married about 3 years now. He married this lady who he was really into from the very start, probably because she's the best looking woman that ever showed him the same amount of interest back. From the beginning, I was there to see him pull out all the stops just to get her, and get her he did. But he's been losing it ever since. Me and him talk from time to time about our lives, our wives, and other things. But he always tries to play it off like everything's all good, like he's happy with how things are going, but in reality, he is getting a raw deal in the marriage department. He was more on point with his life overall before the two of them got married. Now it looks like he's put everything second to keeping her happy. But from the outside, and judging by what he's been telling me, she's not necessarily returning the favor. When I pressed him on it, he admitted that the sex, the affection, and mutual consideration and the passion has dropped off in the marriage. Victory. He's saying this to me after just 2 years. Yet, he keeps doing what he's doing, wondering why he's not getting what he wants from the marriage. You ought to see this guy. He never makes any of our guys' movie nights. He never hooks up with us on Saturdays when we play ball or go to the gym. He rarely even hangs out with me and my wife, unless his wife is in the mood to stop by with him. Mind you, his wife is not the one telling him what he can and can't do. It's him. It's all him. It's like he thinks in order to keep her happy, he has to give up his own life entirely. He's the one who's always looking after their 2-year-old while his wife goes out with her friends. He's the one who runs most of the errands for the family. This guy would rather stay at home and watch Lifetime movies with her and her friends than come out and check out the latest action movie with me and the rest of the guys. Last Friday night, when I stopped by his house on my way home from work to see if he wanted to come kick it with us a little later on, he told me that he couldn't make it because he wanted to stay in and cook for his wife and some of her girlfriends who were coming over to watch some chick flick or another. Now, mind you, I've never been invited over to his house to watch a game or whatever, let alone any of us guys been over to his house and his wife lifted a finger to serve us anything. Wait a minute, that's not true. I remember one time a couple of us were over there and she did lift a finger to point out where we could get up and go get us something to eat and drink for our damn selves. Victory, I see my boy slipping away. I've tried to talk to him, but it doesn't look like he's listening. Should I try to get him a copy of the battle plan first, or should I just slap the hell out of him and see if that helps? Wow. Okay, troops. Everybody out there got that? Yo, Angelo, you already know from the battle plan that this guy is like a combination of the 4 kinds of civilians that I cover in that classified intel. This guy's a self-incarcerated prisoner of war, thanks to his sympathizer way of looking at women, dating, and relationships. First, let me say thank you for helping support the Become a Better Man war effort by getting the battle plan. And thanks for your service to men everywhere by publicly declaring that you're actually the kind of guy that actually wants to help his fellow man. You'd be surprised at how rare this is. But if more men who knew better reach back to help those guys who don't know any better, then a lot of trouble that men have in dating and relationships would really start to diminish. But anyway, back on target. As far as your friend Rob is concerned, you better believe that you did the right thing by taking a cold, hard look at the path he's marching down. From what you wrote, looking at Rob is like looking at the possible ghost of Christmas future. There, but for the grace of you getting your Victory Unlimited wake-up call, could have gone you, soldier. As far as helping Rob see the light is concerned, by no means, I repeat, by no means get this guy a copy of the battle plan. He ain't ready for it yet. And by the way, don't slap him either. You just wind up in a fight, somebody's going to get beat down, and then he still won't learn nothing. Before we come up with a plan of action to try to rescue the man from himself, let's take a look at how he got himself into this predicament. You mentioned that this woman was the best-looking woman that you'd ever seen him with, and he pulled out all the stops to lock her down, so to speak. The reason why he probably did this was because he must have felt deep down that she must have been somewhat out of his league, which is strange because you also said that she was into him too. It looks like your friend may have started putting too many extras on a relationship that would have been pretty good without the overkill. It looks like once he put the ring on her finger, he made the opposite mistake that most men make. He didn't relax to the point where he started to fall off in the areas of giving her the passion, attention, and deference that a good woman deserves from a good man. Nope. This guy started dumping truckloads of even more passion, attention, and deference on her. Now, just for the record, the correct course of action in a good, well-established relationship is to keep consistent with what you've been doing, all the while raising your levels of passion, attention, and deference to your woman in increments, and making damn sure that you do put extra effort into pleasing your lady when you know she's putting in extra effort to please you. But anyway, what your friend seems to be doing is doubting his own worth in this relationship. He's doubting his own worth in this relationship to the point where he's lost sight of why his wife was into him in the first place. She obviously liked who he was when she first met him, and even when she married him, otherwise she wouldn't have married him. It's a mistake for him to change all of that by second-guessing what worked for him in the beginning, by bending over backwards to accommodate her. I know what he thinks he's doing is putting in a marriage fail-safe, but the majority of guys who use this tactic only wind up sabotaging the relationship instead. Now, here's what he needs to do to help turn this situation around. He needs to plan a strategic withdrawal. As gradually as he gave up his identity and his power in that marriage, he needs to just as gradually start taking steps to get them all back. He doesn't even realize it yet because it ain't really hit him. But all of his hopes and dreams are getting killed in that marriage. He needs to fall back, retreat, little by little, from all of those extra things he's been doing for his wife until he sees whether or not she starts returning the favor. There's nothing wrong with her showing a little more passion, attention, and deference to him for a change. What he should do is he should slowly create a void and give her an opportunity to rush in and fill it. If she does, he can get this thing back on track. If she doesn't, it may already be too late. But this is his best chance of bringing the relationship back up to a point where he'll enjoy it and get just as much out of it as she does. One thing that you wrote that disturbed the hell out of me was when you told me that he kicked you guys to the curb to hang out with his wife and her friends. And judging by how you put it, they didn't even ask him to do it. He needs to put a hard stop to that kind of behavior ASAP. I know women like to brag to all of their girlfriends about how much their guys cater to them. But if those same chicks don't see that woman catering to that man too, they'll eventually start losing respect for that man. And the fact that this guy would rather hang around them, being their personal cook, waiter, and bartender on their chick flick night, than be with his friends could cause some of those same women to start questioning his sexuality. Angelo, I know that Rob's your boy and everything, but unless they're paying him to be their butler, he needs to make himself unavailable to be their do-boy until they start seeing his wife doing some things for him too. Otherwise, don't be surprised if some of his wife's friends start whispering that there's something vaginal about your boy. I can guarantee you that some of them are already thinking it. Now, I'm sure that's not the case, but again, that's how bad the subtle disrespect can get when women know deep down that their friend's husband is going overboard to keep her happy, even to the point of always walking on eggshells and being the only guy there with them on the girls' night in. There's something wrong with that.